Speed. It is the universal language of thrill, the measure by which machines and humans test their limits. Every generation rediscovers it, repackages it, and redefines what it means to go faster, smarter, and braver. But speed is never just about numbers. It is about balance, control, and the feeling that everything else fades into the background when you twist the throttle or press the pedal. In that instant, all the technology, heritage, and engineering behind the machine have one purpose: to connect you to that pulse of motion. What happens when a modern performance icon dares to refine its raw power without losing its identity? When British muscle evolves not by adding more aggression, but by mastering precision. Today, we explore a machine that embodies that question and challenges the limits of what a naked sport bike can be. If you enjoy deep dives into the art and science of performance machines, hit like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which legend you want to see next. The 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS arrives as both an evolution and a declaration. A statement that British engineering still knows how to blend visceral power with intelligent restraint. Triumph has always positioned the Speed Triple as the heart of its modern performance identity, the naked bike that bridged the gap between raw muscle and refined control. Since its debut in the 1990s, it has worn the title of Street Fighter proudly, carrying an unmistakable silhouette and a reputation for brutal torque delivery. With the 2026 edition, Triumph did not simply refresh the formula. It rebuilt it with purpose, using lessons from its racing programs, rider feedback, and advanced digital integration. This is not nostalgia disguised as progress. It is a complete recalibration of what it means to ride fast with confidence. At its core, the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS retains the same 1,160 cubic centimeters triple-engine architecture introduced a few years prior, but nearly every internal component has been refined. The combustion system benefits from more efficient air pathways, redesigned pistons, and optimized cooling channels that allow higher sustained performance under track and street conditions. Triumph's engineers managed to squeeze out incremental power gains while maintaining reliability and response, targeting not just headline numbers but usable power throughout the rev range. This is critical for a naked bike that lives on corner exits and urban agility, rather than high-speed straight-line runs. Every twist of the throttle is meant to deliver a feeling of instant authority, a trait that defined the Speed Triple legacy. The engine now breathes through a lighter exhaust system crafted from high-grade titanium alloys, producing a sharper note without breaching noise limits. The exhaust's geometry has been tuned to reduce back pressure, improving mid-range torque delivery where most riders live. Triumph's ride-by-wire system has been recalibrated to offer a more natural relationship between input and output. What the rider commands feels immediate yet predictable. These mechanical upgrades serve one goal: to make the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS feel alive without being intimidating. Triumph wanted a motorcycle that can thrill a professional on the circuit, but remain manageable for those who enjoy spirited weekend rides. The chassis represents one of the most significant overhauls. The aluminum twin-spar frame has been stiffened selectively, with reinforcements near the headstock and swing arm pivot to enhance feedback under heavy braking and cornering loads. Triumph did not chase the lightest possible number. Instead, the focus was on mass centralization. Components like the battery and ECU are positioned closer to the bike's center of gravity, giving the Speed Triple 1200 RS remarkable agility when flicked from side to side. The subframe, crafted from carbon composites, reduces rear-end weight and adds aesthetic precision that complements its purposeful stance. Riders will feel it most when transitioning through fast bends, where the bike responds with surgical intent. Suspension tuning has always been a hallmark of the RS line, and for 2026, Triumph partnered once again with Öhlins. The fully adjustable Smart EC 3.0 system reads road conditions and rider inputs in real time, altering damping within milliseconds. Unlike older electronically controlled systems that reacted to surface irregularities, this one predicts them through a suite of inertial sensors. Whether cruising on city streets or diving into an apex at triple-digit speeds, the system maintains stability without dulling feedback. The result is confidence, that elusive quality that separates a fast motorcycle from a truly great one. Braking is equally sophisticated. Brembo Stylema R calipers grip twin 320mm discs with a revised master cylinder offering enhanced modulation. Triumph has refined the ABS intervention thresholds, using data from the IMU to measure lean angles and slip rates. This means riders can brake deeper into corners with less fear of upsetting the chassis balance. Combined with grippy tires developed in collaboration with Pirelli, the Speed Triple 1200 RS projects a feeling of precision rather than panic when pushed to its limits. The electronic suite complements this character. It works invisibly until the moment you need it. Speaking of electronics, the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS marks Triumph's boldest step toward rider assist intelligence. The new Triumph Ride Dynamic System replaces the earlier generation's traction and wheelie control algorithms with an adaptive AI network. Using machine learning parameters, it studies riding behavior over time and adjusts intervention accordingly. A novice rider receives smoother, earlier assistance, while experienced riders experience later thresholds that allow for controlled slides and sharper acceleration. This adaptive approach bridges the gap between human instinct and digital control, creating a synergy that feels organic rather than mechanical. The display interface has also evolved. A new 7-inch TFT unit sits behind the reshaped wind deflector, offering clearer visuals in all lighting conditions. Triumph's MyRide OS integrates seamlessly with smartphones, providing navigation, ride data logging, and over-the-air updates. Voice control through a connected headset allows riders to manage settings without lifting a hand from the bars. More importantly, the system includes a performance analyzer that visualizes throttle patterns, braking forces, and lean angles, enabling riders to refine their skills like a professional racer. This shift toward data-driven motorcycling is part of Triumph's broader strategy to make riders better by making machines smarter. Visually, the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS sharpens its aggression without abandoning elegance. The twin LED headlamps are slimmer, giving the front end a more focused gaze. Body panels use fewer seams, channeling airflow more efficiently while maintaining a sculpted minimalism. Triumph's design philosophy here is function-led form. Every contour serves a purpose. The tank's revised shape offers better knee grip, and the tail section, trimmed and angular, emphasizes the compact nature of the frame. New matte finishes in graphite and metallic red subtly highlight the bike's muscular character without resorting to excessive ornamentation. It looks fast even when standing still, which is precisely what a speed triple should convey. Ergonomics play a critical role in shaping the riding experience. The 2026 model adopts a slightly lower handlebar position and a reprofiled seat with denser foam to support longer stints. Triumph claims this configuration strikes the ideal middle ground between sporty aggression and everyday comfort. The foot pegs have been relocated marginally rearward, improving ground clearance without compromising knee comfort. The cumulative effect is a bike that encourages spirited riding but remains usable in daily traffic. Riders will find that the posture naturally positions their weight toward the front wheel, enhancing communication with the front end, especially under corner entry loads. On the performance front, Triumph reports subtle but meaningful gains. The engine now produces approximately 185 horsepower with torque peaking near 85 lb-ft, both achieved with improved fuel efficiency and emissions compliance. These figures, while not revolutionary, reflect Triumph's refusal to chase numbers for their own sake. The 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS deepens its impact once you understand what the numbers do not reveal. Power-to-weight ratios and lean angles are only half the story. The other half is the psychology of speed. Triumph's engineers recognized that performance is not purely mechanical but emotional. The new Speed Triple 1200 RS aims to connect both worlds. It invites the rider into a feedback loop where every decision becomes instinctive. This fusion of intellect and adrenaline is what separates the 2026 model from earlier generations. It is not about being faster in isolation but about making that speed accessible, repeatable, and satisfying. When you ride the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS, you sense how finely balanced the machine is between order and chaos. The triple-cylinder layout, long celebrated for its distinctive rhythm, delivers a torque curve that feels elastic yet composed. There is a tactile pulse through the bars and pegs, but never an overwhelming surge. It feels like Triumph found the equilibrium point where the motor sings without shouting. The AI-driven electronics layer adds a subtle guiding hand, gently correcting imperfections in throttle or lean without overriding the rider's intent. The sensation is confidence through collaboration, rather than control by computer. That is an important distinction in a world where digital assistance often mutes mechanical soul. The 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS is also a study in sensory engineering. Triumph's team spent months refining intake harmonics and exhaust frequencies to shape the sound profile riders experience under acceleration. What results is not just noise but orchestration. A sound that rises in tone and texture as the revs climb, tuned specifically to the frequencies the human ear associates with excitement. Even the intake ducts are sculpted to amplify resonance in the mid-range. Triumph has effectively transformed air and combustion into emotional triggers, proving that engineering can influence not just performance but perception. Lighting and visibility are another layer of refinement. The adaptive LED matrix headlamps on the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS are not just brighter. They pivot slightly with lean angle, ensuring that cornering lines remain illuminated. It is a small detail that speaks volumes about the bike's holistic design philosophy. Triumph understands that confidence at high speed relies on vision. When the road ahead stays lit, the rider's line stays stable. This innovation comes directly from lessons in endurance testing, where night sessions revealed how fatigue and limited visibility affect control. Triumph used that data to turn illumination into a safety feature and a performance tool at once. The seat of the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS deserves its own discussion. It is not just about comfort. It is about support during dynamic movement. The density and contour of the foam, the slip-resistant material, and the subtle rise toward the tail all combine to anchor the rider during aggressive braking or acceleration. Triumph's ergonomics team modeled human posture during various lean angles to ensure stability without restricting mobility. It might sound obsessive, but it is this attention to the micro-level experience that transforms the macro-level outcome. Over a long ride, these refinements translate to less fatigue and more consistent control. One of the most fascinating elements of the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS is its new thermal management system. Instead of relying solely on passive airflow, Triumph integrated micro-channel coolant routing within the cylinder head. The result is a system that maintains optimal temperature distribution even under extreme load. The radiator and oil cooler layout have also been redesigned to minimize frontal drag, with ducts that guide air through the core before redirecting it smoothly around the engine block. The result is improved heat rejection with reduced aerodynamic penalty. Riders experience this as stable performance in hot weather or under track stress. It is engineering discipline disguised as simplicity. What truly defines the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS, however, is its adaptability. Riders can switch between multiple modes: road, sport, track, rain, and a new custom pro setting that allows individual parameter control. Each mode alters throttle response, traction sensitivity, ABS behavior, and suspension damping. But beyond the technical adjustments, Triumph's AI interprets contextual cues such as altitude, tire temperature, and riding aggression. It learns when to relax electronic oversight and when to tighten it. Over time, the bike almost develops a personality. It remembers how you ride and tailors itself to your rhythm. This self-learning feature marks Triumph's transition from reactive electronics to predictive intelligence. A milestone few motorcycles have achieved this gracefully. Despite this sophistication, the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS retains its rebellious attitude. The minimalist bodywork and exposed mechanicals speak to a design ethos that celebrates function over ornament. The swing arm, a signature single-sided design, is more sculpted than before, allowing better chain tension control while showcasing the rear wheel like an art piece. Every visible fastener and bracket serves a mechanical purpose, and that transparency reinforces the authenticity of the Speed Triple lineage. Triumph resisted the temptation to bury its engineering under layers of plastic. This decision reflects confidence in craftsmanship. When every weld and casting looks purposeful, the design language speaks for itself. Triumph's design evolution for the 2026 Speed Triple 1200 RS also reflects an understanding of the emotional cycle of ownership. This is a machine built not just to impress on first sight, but to maintain fascination over years of riding. Details like the anodized control levers, machined bar ends, and high-resolution switchgear satisfy tactile curiosity. Even the key fob, with its proximity activation and motion sensor, feels like a small gesture of modern luxury. Triumph recognizes that ownership experience matters as much as mechanical performance. It is about connection, pride, and continuity. The 2026 model invites owners to form a lasting bond rather than a fleeting thrill. Under the surface, the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS carries an upgraded electrical architecture designed for longevity and flexibility. Triumph's engineers built redundancy into critical systems such as traction control and ABS, ensuring that a single sensor fault does not disable the system. The bike's diagnostic software can isolate and reroute data through secondary pathways. This may sound invisible to the rider, but it is essential for reliability and confidence, particularly as motorcycles become more digitally complex. Triumph is signaling that advanced technology need not compromise durability or simplicity. It is a balancing act that defines the new era of British engineering. The 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS represents more than engineering achievement. It symbolizes the convergence of instinct, innovation, and identity. The soul of this motorcycle lies not in horsepower or electronics, but in the harmony between them. Triumph approached the 2026 Speed Triple 1200 RS with the question every manufacturer eventually faces. How do you modernize a legend without diluting its essence? The answer emerged through restraint. Triumph added intelligence without arrogance, precision without sterility. This discipline makes the new Speed Triple 1200 RS feel like a living organism that breathes through mechanics and thinks through code. It listens, adapts, and reacts faster than human reflex, yet never overrides human intent. When riders describe the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS, they often mention connection. The moment the engine fires, the sound carries a signature pulse unique to the triple configuration. It hums at idle with quiet confidence, then climbs into a mechanical symphony that feels alive rather than programmed. Triumph achieved this sensation by mapping ignition timing to synchronize with throttle rhythm, allowing natural modulation of tone under acceleration. The goal was to make the engine feel conversational, as if it were speaking back to the rider. This emotional engineering is subtle, but it defines the experience. Few motorcycles create such feedback loops where technology enhances personality instead of suppressing it. The frame geometry of the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS plays an equally critical role in shaping its identity. Triumph reduced rake and adjusted trails slightly, making steering inputs quicker without losing stability at speed. This fine-tuning creates a sense of agility that invites trust. In fast transitions, the motorcycle feels almost telepathic, reading body position and translating it into motion. That responsiveness stems not only from geometry, but also from the interplay between the new swing arm stiffness and Öhlins Smart EC suspension. Together, they deliver feedback that is firm yet communicative, letting the rider sense grip limits through subtle vibrations. It is this level of transparency that turns motion into mastery. Even stationary, the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS projects intent. The design language communicates both power and precision. The minimal bodywork draws the eye to functional components: the frame welds, the machined engine casings, the carbon tail section. Triumph's color palette favors sophistication over flash. Matte graphite, metallic red, and satin silver reflect light selectively, emphasizing muscle contours. The overall stance sits lower and tighter, creating the impression of forward momentum even when parked. It is art through purpose, form shaped entirely by the demands of function. The Speed Triple 1200 RS does not ask for attention. It commands it through presence alone. Riding the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS reveals an experience that evolves minute by minute. At low speeds, the bike feels approachable, with light steering effort and compliant damping. As velocity increases, its personality transforms. The chassis tightens, suspension firms, and throttle response sharpens in seamless progression. The adaptive electronics anticipate rather than react. They know when to grant freedom and when to protect stability. It is not magic, but mathematics executed perfectly. Triumph's engineers designed algorithms that read acceleration vectors and rider consistency, predicting behavior within milliseconds. The sensation is almost eerie, like the machine knows your next move before you commit to it. Triumph also focused on durability and ownership experience for the 2026 Speed Triple 1200 RS. Service intervals have been extended through improved materials and precision assembly. The engine uses diamond-like carbon coatings on cam followers to reduce friction and wear. Electrical connectors feature enhanced sealing to resist corrosion, addressing real-world feedback from riders who endure all-weather conditions. Even the paint application process has been revised, using electrostatic bonding for deeper gloss retention. Triumph's goal was to make the Speed Triple 1200 RS as reliable as it is thrilling. Performance machines often sacrifice longevity for speed. Triumph chose to excel at both. There is also a philosophical dimension to the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS that reflects Triumph's place in modern motorcycling. For decades, the Speed Triple represented rebellion, a counterpoint to supersport conformity. Its design rejected full fairings and track-only pretensions in favor of raw street charisma. But rebellion matures. The 2026 model channels that same defiance into refinement. It no longer shouts for attention. It earns it through competence. This evolution mirrors how performance culture itself has changed. Riders today want control, not chaos, expression, not excess. The Speed Triple 1200 RS embodies that shift, proving that progress can still carry attitude. The seat of the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS offers more than ergonomic balance. It is the physical link between rider and machine intelligence. The saddle's contour aligns with the bike's mass distribution, placing the rider directly over the center of gravity. Every body movement translates instantly into input. This intimacy becomes addictive. Triumph's focus on rider integration has created an experience where even small corrections feel satisfying. It blurs the line between pilot and passenger of technology. At full lean, the connection feels organic. No separation between thought, motion, and machine. That is Triumph's triumph. Translating data into emotion. The 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS stands as a reflection of where motorcycling is headed, and what must be preserved on the journey there. In a world moving toward automation and silence, this motorcycle celebrates the tangible, the visceral, and the responsive. It reminds us that control, when shared between human instinct and mechanical intelligence, can feel more natural than either alone. The 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS is proof that progress and purity are not opposites. They are companions when designed with purpose. It is not a nostalgic throwback nor a soulless gadget. It is the bridge between eras of motion. The broader impact of the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS goes beyond its specifications. It challenges how riders define connection. The triple-cylinder engine continues to be the heartbeat of Triumph's identity, but now it operates as part of a larger sensory ecosystem. The integration of adaptive electronics, predictive traction management, and self-learning behavior transforms it from a static machine into a dynamic companion. Triumph has not merely built a faster motorcycle. It has built a smarter one that listens to its rider. This shift is important because it sets a precedent for how future machines might enhance, not replace, human capability. Triumph's approach also carries cultural resonance. The Speed Triple has always symbolized British defiance, but in 2026 that defiance has evolved into refinement. It no longer needs to shout to prove its strength. Its composure speaks louder than aggression ever could. By maintaining the Speed Triple's triple-cylinder identity and mechanical honesty, Triumph ensures that authenticity remains central to innovation. This balance between legacy and modernity reinforces Triumph's role as a steward of British performance culture. The 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS is not just a machine to admire. It is a conversation about what the future of riding should feel like. From a rider's perspective, the experience leaves a lasting imprint. The sense of control is intoxicating, but it is the confidence that defines the memory. Every curve, every acceleration, every deceleration feels measured yet free. Triumph engineered the sensation of competence, an empowering emotion often missing in over-digitized performance products. The Speed Triple 1200 RS rewards curiosity, inviting riders to explore limits gradually and safely. In that exploration lies the true essence of riding. Learning the dance between machine and self, where trust becomes velocity and balance becomes bliss. The 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS will likely influence more than Triumph's own lineup. Its adaptive technology, balanced ergonomics, and emotional engineering establish a new benchmark for naked performance motorcycles. Other manufacturers will study how Triumph managed to fuse machine intelligence with analog soul so elegantly. But imitation alone will not replicate what Triumph achieved because the foundation of the Speed Triple is emotional, not mechanical. It comes from decades of iteration guided by an unwavering identity. That heritage cannot be downloaded. It must be earned through time and intent. As performance evolves, machines like the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS remind us why riding still matters. It is not about efficiency or digital precision alone. It is about motion that feels meaningful. The sound of the triple engine, the subtle resistance of the clutch lever, the feedback through the tires. All of it forms a language that riders understand instinctively. Triumph has preserved that language while teaching it new vocabulary. The Speed Triple 1200 RS communicates with clarity. It does not overwhelm. That might be its most revolutionary achievement. Technology that amplifies humanity instead of muting it. Looking forward, the legacy of the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS will likely be measured not just in sales or lap times but in influence. It demonstrates that even in an age of automation, craftsmanship and emotion remain powerful differentiators. Riders who experience it will remember how it made them feel. Capable, connected, alive. That emotional memory is what keeps the motorcycle culture thriving through decades of change. Triumph has tapped into that timeless current and directed it toward the future. The Speed Triple 1200 RS does not predict where riding will end. It ensures that riding continues to matter. In the end, the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RS stands as both a culmination and a promise. It encapsulates 30 years of evolution, from raw Street Fighter origins to intelligent performance mastery. Yet it also signals what comes next. A generation of machines that think fast but feel human. Triumph has proven that heritage and innovation can share the same throttle, and that true performance will always start with passion. The 2026 Speed Triple 1200 RS is not just the future of British muscle on two wheels. It is the present, perfected. It reminds every rider why speed, when balanced with soul, will never go out of style.